Now it's time to flick that switch
into overdrive.
You haven't seen us for a while because we've been doing a 10-part television series called Car Chronicles.
That appeared on Discovery Turbo channel, and hopefully you managed to catch some of it.
On this episode, we're going to be looking at the Aston Martin DB6.
Lancia Fulvia Zagato.
We're going to be going to the Goodwood Revival.
And we're also going to take a look at the evergreen Lotus Super 7.
Two very different approaches for a British car company to build a high-performance vehicle. The lightweight Lotus Super 7
and the Aston Martin DB6. Now the Super 7 has got an incredible power-to-weight ratio, hasn't it, Jeremy?
I did a bit of research on this, and with a Super 7 with a twin-cam engine in a mild state of tune, it has more power than the legendary Ferrari 250 GTO. Very interestingly, a 997 Porsche Turbo and a Porsche GT2.
So it's only got a small engine though, it's just because it's so light that it's so powerful.
That's right, power to weight ratio.
Whereas the Aston Martin DB6, bit of a tank, but what a motor car.
What a motor car.
Dicono che non so trovare un fiore e che non ho mai niente da regalare. Dicono che c'è un chiodo dentro il mio cuore e che per
The Goodwood Revival is definitely one of my favourite international events. I do many of them. I have been there at least 10 times, I would have thought. But James, you came there for the first time this year.
Yes, and what an exciting event it was. I really enjoyed it. I've been to some great international events, and Goodwood Revival, well, have a look. This is what we thought of it when we were there. Ferrari 250 short wheelbase, as we know, is a very rare car.
Isn't that amazing to see so many short wheelbases in one place? And really, the Goodwood Revival is the only motor racing event in the world where you'll see this.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Ferrari 250 GT short wheelbases in a row. Probably last time that happened was in the factory, wasn't it?
Probably, yes. Everywhere you look here, there's something special. Here we've got a lineup of Ford GT40s, but at the end, the only convertible Ford GT40 ever made. How about that? These are the project cars. This is 212 and Project 214. They were very special one-off cars. Here we go, man.
So, are these real lightweights, or are these just people who made them look like lightweights?
No, they're the real thing. That car you're just going to go past there, Cut 7, as a very, very famous racing history.
And this is what it would have been like back in the good old days of motor racing.
And, you know, you talk about accessibility. Here we are. We can walk right up to a lightweight E-Type, terribly rare and valuable car, and we can look at all aspects of how it's made. To me, that's a piece of jewellery. That's just a sculpture. That's the most exciting thing I've seen today.
Of course, as we have seen, the Revival is not exclusively about British cars. And indeed, Goodwood recently passed itself off as an Italian racetrack.
Torna ancora quest'estate insieme a me, stessa spiaggia, lo stesso mare, insieme a te.
Over the years, Aston Martin's had a very close relationship with the Italian coach builder Zagato and produced the beautiful Aston Martin DB4 GT Zagato.
An incredible motor car, but you don't need to pay a fortune to get a Zagato body car. You could go for the Lancia Fulvia Zagato, which we have here. Lovely.
And when you look closely at the two cars, you will notice that there are a lot of similarities in its design. And that's really because the Zagato brothers were all about aerodynamic efficiency and lightweight, and they tried to wrap the mechanical package as tightly as possible.
Let's have a look at the real thing.
Buonasera signorina, buonasera, come bello in faccia Napoli sognare, mentre il cielo sembra dire buonasera, come la prima volta che mi hai detto sì.
One of the reasons that this Zagato body car may not be worth quite as much as the Aston Martin DB4 GT Zagato is the fact that it's a Lancia. Vincenzo Lancia, who invented the company, was one of the great piloti of the early pioneering days of motorsport. I think it was in 1904 or 1907 that he set up his own company, Lancia. What a great name for a motor car. You know, Lancia, it means a lance or a spear, and that's the emblem that is adopted for the Lancia mark.
Now, the Fulvia package was a really advanced mechanical setup with front-wheel drive, narrow-angle V4 engine, twin overhead cams, and twin side drive carburetors. Lancia were based in Turin, and they sent the mechanical underpinnings to Zagato in Milan, and Zagato rebodied the car in this lovely aerodynamic package with aluminium doors, bonnet, boot lid, and some very unusual little idiosyncrasies.
I just love this bonnet. Look at all the lines on it, incredible. The detail that's in there, a bit of dirt there, Jeremy, give it a clean, would you? But the detail, absolutely lovely, lovely. As is the little idiosyncrasy that you're going to show us with this bonnet.
Which is very strange really, because it's a side opening bonnet.
Ooh, missus.
And we don't really know why, because on the Series 2 they made it a front opening bonnet, so it's just a little idiosyncrasy of the Series 1 car.
Lovely, they really packed that engine in there. What sort of carbs are on there, Jeremy?
There's Solexes.
Solexes, very, very nice, love it. And the other thing I like about this sort of aerodynamic shape are these magnificent wing mirrors. They're not made by Lancia, these are what?
They're Matador, but they're the factory mirrors for the car.
Yeah, and they're just so streamlined and they make it look very fast indeed.
Whenever you read any of the original road tests of this model, they mention this rear ventilation unit, electrically operated.
You press a little button and this has popped up, and that just allows air to come through, give you a bit of fresh air in the car, is it?
And it works really well, you know. You'd think it would be sucking in exhaust fumes, but it doesn't. It has really great through-flow ventilation. And of course, when you open it up, if I can work it out, here we go, you get this very practical rear hatch.
Such a refined little car, isn't it? Really lovely, the detail and the finishing on it. I know, well, when we drive it, you'll see how sporty nature it's got and what fun it is, but just look at all of that. I just love it.
Come prima, più di prima, t'amerò.
Well, James, this will bring back many happy memories for you, I'm sure.
I really love the Lancia Fulvias. I love Lancias in general, but I think the Fulvia is a very nice little motor car, and I love the high revvingness of them. I love the very, very, very direct steering. They really, you know, those front-wheel drive with the wheels right at the front of the vehicle makes it a really responsive motor car to drive. I think it's very, very pleasant indeed.
And without the harshness that you get in something like a Mini,
Well,
it's much more compliant and much smoother and feels mechanically more sophisticated.
I think they're very sophisticated cars. That's why we're wearing our jackets, of course, because if you're a Lancia driver, you are a gentleman.
Very sophisticated chaps.
Yes, it's just a pleasure to drive, and you know, look at the pick up and go on it. Beautiful, little nice exhaust note. It's a pretty motor car, but a pretty car to drive. None of the Italianicity of this car is lost by virtue of the fact that it's right-hand drive and sold new in Australia. It is an out-and-out 1960s little mini supercar sort of thing, isn't it? It's wonderful.
I think it's really is a little jewel of a car. Thank you for joining us on Overdrive, and we hope you've enjoyed the episode.
Yes, it's been a lot of fun making it. Last time we promised you all sorts of goodies, which we probably haven't done on this episode. I think we mentioned that we were going to talk about some boats. Well, we will do that next time, because we've got a new boat, haven't we, Jeremy?
We have. We're very excited about it. It's a 1958 Fairy Christina.
Or is it a 1957 Campbell Christina? To be discussed.
Lancia, red. Why red? Because it was built by Ferrari, or why was this? Why don't they do them in lots of different colours? Well, you're bloody hopeless, aren't you? What's the point of that then? We'll ask you a question you don't know.